They laughed before they even turned around to see who had spoken. A crisp desert wind cut through the camp, carrying dust and the low hum of helicopters, but the sound of mockery rose above it all. Did she seriously just ask for the rifle? One of the young operators snickered, nudging his buddy. The other shook his head, eyes rolling. Yeah, probably wants a photo for her socials. More laughter, but the woman standing behind them didn't flinch. She didn't step back or break eye contact. She simply repeated the request, calm, steady, almost too steady. Hand me the rifle. Her voice wasn't loud, yet it carried weight. But the men only smirked harder. 2 reasons fueled their arrogance. 1, they had no idea who she was. 2, they assumed they already knew. At that exact moment, Commander Dean Hawthorne stepped out of the tactical tent, drawn by the noise. He was a hardened SEAL commander with 22 years in uniform, a man whose silence intimidated more than most men's rage. He scanned the group, annoyed, until his gaze fell on the woman at the center. At first, he didn't recognize her. She wore plain desert fatigues with no unit patch, no obvious rank, no telltale insignia, just a dusty ponytail, a quiet expression, and the posture of someone who had seen more than she would ever say. "Is there a problem here?" Hawthorne asked. One of the younger operators stepped forward. "No problem, sir. She wants to borrow our rifle." The sneer in his voice was impossible to miss. The commander's eyes narrowed. He looked at the woman again, more closely this time. Something tugged at his memory. But before he could place it, the youngest operator chuckled and added, "She probably doesn't even know how to load it." That comment got the reaction he wanted, laughter echoing through the yard. But the woman didn't laugh. She just extended her hand again, palm up. The rifle. Her tone didn't waver. The commander didn't know why, but an instinct rippled through him, an instinct honed on battlegrounds where hesitation meant death. Something about her steadiness, something about her eyes. He nodded toward the rifle. "Give it to her." The mocking operator froze. "Sir, give her the rifle," Hawthorne repeated, voice cold as the metal of a trigger. Reluctantly, the operator handed it over. She inspected it quickly, checking the weight, balance, the wear around the firing pin. Then she turned toward the range. "Targets at 800 yards, she said. "Reset them." The men exchanged confused glances. 800 yards wasn't a casual distance, it was a proving ground. But they obeyed. As they walked away, Commander Hawthorne stepped closer to her. "You're far from home," he said quietly. "Haven't seen you around this camp." "I wasn't supposed to be on the ground," she replied. Plans changed. Her curt answers were strangely familiar. Then she added, "I heard your team lost visual on the hostile convoy. Thought I could help." There was no arrogance in her voice. No bragging. Just a simple offer. The commander studied her again, searching his memory. Then one of the operators called from downrange, "Targets ready." She lifted the rifle without a word. Her stance was perfect, too perfect for coincidence. The way she braced her body, the way she breathed, the way she let her shoulders fall into stillness, it was muscle memory carved from years of precision, pressure, and deadly silence. She fired once. The echo cracked across the valley. The 800-yard metal plate rang instantly. She fired again, and again. 5 shots, 5 hits, perfect grouping. The laughter died completely. No one dared speak. She lowered the rifle, but before anyone could ask a question, a voice crackled over the commander's radio. "Urgent." Breathless. "Commander Hawthorne, intel confirms she landed with the airborne unit. We just got her clearance file." "Sir, she's..." The voice stopped, as if afraid to say the name. "Her codename is Ghost Lynx." The world paused. Every operator went pale. Ghost Lynx. A codename spoken with reverence in elite units and with fear in enemy camps. A sniper whose confirmed missions were permanently classified. A shadow who only appeared when situations were beyond salvage, when mistakes couldn't be afforded, and when the difference between life and death came down to a single unmoving heartbeat. Rumors said she had ended 2 wars before they began. That she chose silence not as a preference but as a weapon. That she had the patience of a stone and the precision of a scalpel. Commander Hawthorne inhaled sharply as the memory snapped fully into place. He had heard of her years ago, briefing papers filled with redacted lines, commanders speaking about her with lowered voices, the Navy's most secret weapon born not from muscle, but from impossible stillness. He whispered, "Lynx." She met his gaze. "I prefer not to use that name anymore." The youngest operator, who had mocked her the loudest, stumbled backward. Shame washed over his face. He looked as though he wanted to disappear into the sand. Commander Hawthorne cleared his throat. "Ma'am," he said quietly, respectfully, "if I had known." "You weren't supposed to know." A moment of silence followed. Heavy. Real. Then she continued, "Your team's convoy is heading into an ambush. You don't have eyes on the ridge. I can take the shot from here if you need it." The commander didn't hesitate. "We need it." Within minutes, a long-range rifle was set up on the makeshift platform. She adjusted nothing. Not the scope, not the bipod, not the windage flags. She simply lay prone, settling into the earth like she belonged to it. When she spoke, her voice was barely above a whisper. "Mark the lead truck." In the command tent, the screen flickered as the convoy came into view. Then, before Hawthorne could blink, she fired. The hostile scout on the ridge dropped instantly. Another shot, another threat neutralized. 3 minutes, 7 confirmed hits. The ambush was erased before the convoy even knew danger had existed. When she finally rose to her feet, dust clinging to her uniform, she said quietly, "Your men are safe now." The commander swallowed hard, humbled to his core. "Thank you, Ghost Lynx." But she shook her head. "Not Ghost, not anymore, just someone trying to help." For a long moment, no one moved. The operators who had mocked her earlier stepped forward, eyes lowered in genuine remorse. One of them spoke, voice cracking slightly, "Ma'am, we're sorry. We didn't know." She gave a small, tired smile. "Most battles aren't won by who's loudest. They're won by who listens." Then she handed the rifle back. As she walked away toward the setting sun, the commander finally understood why her legend was so powerful. Not because of her aim. Not because of her codename. Not even because of the lives she saved. But because of her humility. Greatness, he realized, doesn't shout. It simply acts, and the world is lucky when it pays attention.